This is a video on how to use the schematic eye, which is a fabulous tool to practice retinoscopy with when you don't have a live human being. So we use it with our lens kit right there and here, schematic eye. First thing we have to do is neutralize it. So what you do is the back of it slides in and out, and kind of slide it out, get out your retinoscope, get it your proper working distance, and scope both meridians. And as you are doing that, push the back of it in, scope, 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 push the back of it in until you see neutral. Initially go a little bit too far so you can prove that you went past neutral, and then bring it back out, start over again while you're scoping. Push the back of it in so you will find neutral, and you find neutral at your working distance. And we have attached strings with very finely crafted marking points to tell you where a diopter and a half is, 67 centimeters, because with retinoscopy, obviously, if you're not at your proper working distance, you'll get the wrong answer no matter how beautifully you see the reflex. If you think you're at a diopter and a half, but you're actually at 2 diopters, you get the wrong answer. So you need to learn the bend in your elbow for your working distance, which typically is a diopter and a half. So we calibrate the schematic eye for your working distance. Conversely, we could put in the working lens, a plus 150 lens, and neutralize with the lens in place. The reason that we don't do that with the schematic eye is that we would then have to leave that working lens in, and it would be yet one more lens in this tiny little lens well, bungling things up. So we actively choose to not use the working lens, distance lens, but we know intellectually that really in real life we'd have to. So in real life, don't forget to take your working distance out, but when you're practicing with schematic eye, you have accounted for the working distance by neutralizing to your actual working distance. So once you have it neutralized for your working distance, pick a lens. Just reach into your lens kit, pop in a lens, and scope. See what you see. If you see with, add plus against add minus. The terrible mnemonic that I use to remember this is whap them on the head with the retinoscope. Whap them on the head. So whap with add plus, add against add minus, just helps you remember. So when you put in your mystery lens, or maybe it's your first time, so you put in a lens you know, at any rate you scope. And if you see with, you know that you need to get some plus lenses to neutralize that. So I see a little plus. So I see a little with, and so I need to add plus. So here I add a little plus, and then do I still see with? Do I need to add more plus? So you just keep trying different lenses and scoping, always both meridians, until you're pretty darn close. And then when you are pretty darn close, you take your lenses and just bracket to make sure. So here, it's not quite enough. No, that looks pretty good. Here, I think that's a little too much. That looks pretty good. So you want to bracket. And again, always check both meridians. So that's how you use the schematic eye. And then you can put in whatever lenses you want. You can take a handful of lenses and kind of mix them up on the counter and throw in any old 2 lenses. You can do sill lenses by themselves. You can do a sill lens and a sphere lens. And whatever you have, you're going to find the axis. You're going to scope both meridians. Maybe it's oblique, so it would be both of those meridians. But you scope both meridians, and then you neutralize both meridians. As you neutralize a meridian, you need to put your findings somewhere. And when you're doing it loose lens, you just write it on a piece of paper. And the easiest way to do it is to put it on a power cross. So when you are scoping with the slit vertically, that's parallel to the axis. So you're actually testing the power in the horizontal meridian when you have the slit vertically. And your light is feeling what kind of power it feels along that horizontal meridian. And then when you get your finding when your slit is vertical, your finding for the horizontal power meridian will go at the horizontal part meridian of the power cross. And then when you do the feeling the vertical power meridian, your slit is going to be horizontal with the axis of the vertical power meridian axis is 90 degrees away. So when you have your slit horizontal, you are feeling what kind of power is in the vertical meridian, and you will put that finding in the vertical meridian on the power cross. And then once you have both meridians on the power cross, you take it off the power cross and turn it into a prescription in plus sil or minus sil, as you wish. So that's how you do the schematic eye. It's quite lovely. I may have said this already in the start of the video, but if you put in a plus 250 lens, the loose lens that you should need to neutralize with should be the opposite. It should be a minus 250 lens. So that's a way to check your accuracy in your answer, because you're neutral with no lenses. So if you put in a plus 250 and a minus 250, you got to be neutral. So that's how you know if you got the right answer. At the end of all of this, you will need to disinfect all the lenses, clean and disinfect all the lenses that you've used, and make sure they're streak-free and beautiful, and put them away properly, exactly and precisely where they belong. So the next person, who might be you, who uses the lens kit, will be able to find what they want. So have fun with this. It's kind of fun to play with.